What it do, peeps? Sheryl Swoopes is been missing. Sheryl Swoopes is MIA. They got a APB out for Sheryl Swoopes. If you see Sheryl Swoopes, she did a lot of talking a few months ago about the Indiana Fever, the locker room environment, how people didn't want to play there, how people wanted to.
Sheryl Swoopes made a bold claim, confidently stating that Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever wouldn't land top free agents. Fast forward to now, and Indiana just had one of the most impressive free agency runs in league history. Meanwhile, Swoopes is looking like a human magic 8-ball, wrong on every prediction. Someone check on her, because it's clear that Indiana's success has completely shattered whatever credibility she had left. The Fever proved her completely wrong, leaving her with nothing but egg on her face.
In the Fever, we're like, y'all.
That's not my point. There's a lot of other shit going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
Over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some
So
new shit
like
going
it's
on
a lot.
around there.
It's a lot. So you have players that are very significant on this Indiana Fever team that are like, I don't
want to be here.
This is where I want to be.
Let's rewind. Sheryl Swoopes, a Hall of Famer and legend, sure. But now she's clocking in as a full-time hater with overtime. She boldly claimed the Fever couldn't land top-tier talent due to locker room issues. Fast forward, and here we are, contract signed, ink dry, and Indiana just built a super team. Meanwhile, Sheryl sits on the sidelines, egg on her face, probably drafting her next bad take. The Fever proved her wrong in the most spectacular way.
Stephanie White came in and said, okay, hold up. Let me go to Indeed.com and Indeed get some free agents to come in here that want to play, that are accomplished, seasoned veterans. She did all that. Cheryl's been nowhere to be found. Sheryl got a lot of crow to eat, folks. Sheryl could be choking on crow right now. She need that Heimlich maneuver. If you see Sheryl Swoopes, tell her it's okay to come out and talk and say, man, you was wrong.
I can just picture Sheryl scrolling through her phone, shocked, saying, no way these players picked Indiana. But surprise, Natasha Howard, Dana Bonner, Sophie Cunningham, and even Asia Wilson's best friend, Sydney Colson, all joined the Fever. Indiana didn't just win free agency. They absolutely dominated. When Colson was asked why, well, let's roll the footage.
I talked to Sydney Colson today about her signing with Indiana. She said that Kelsey Mitchell was actually the first person she hit up because they built a bond here, playing AU for the last 3 years. She said she heard some good things about Caitlin Clark from her Aces teammate Kate Martin as well, so that made the decision easy.
That's right. Sydney Colson wanted to play with Kelsey Mitchell, a longtime friend, and the phenom herself, Caitlin Clark. These were the exact two players Sheryl Swoopes targeted just months ago. And here's the twist. This is the same Sheryl who said Caitlin Clark would need years to adjust to the WNBA. Years, really? Meanwhile, Clark is dropping 40 points like it's nothing, while Cheryl's predictions are aging like spoiled milk.
Three WNBA MVPs in your career, would you consider each of those 3 seasons as dominant seasons for yourself?
No.
I can't. Bro, Sheryl Swoopes is willing to lie about her own career before she even admits that Caitlin is done.
At this point, hating on Caitlin Clark feels like an Olympic sport, and Sheryl Swoopes is going for the gold. In fact, she's probably sweeping the podium, gold, silver, and bronze, standing there looking salty as the national anthem plays. Oh, Caitlin won't translate to the WNBA. Yeah, tell that to Indiana, who's out here collecting elite talent like they're assembling Avengers. Caitlin isn't just adjusting, she's thriving, and the Fever are thriving right alongside her. Sheryl Swoopes might want to sit this one out because Indiana just put her in her place again, proving her wrong at every...
Oh, but players who will be free agents next year, there's a lot of other shit going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
Let's not kid ourselves. The real reason some WNBA veterans and so-called legends can't stand Caitlin Clark is because she didn't wait her turn. She didn't ask for permission to shine or politely tap them on the shoulder. No, she walked in, shattered 62 records in her rookie WNBA season, loved the fans, and elevated the sport into global consciousness. And oh, that burns them up inside. Caitlin Clark didn't need anyone's approval to become the face of women's basketball. She's got more global recognition than half the league combined, and that's not her fault. That's just what happens when you're a generational talent. Sheryl Swoopes, Angel Reese, Asia Wilson, and the entire anti-Caitlin Clark fan club are going to have to sit with that. While they're busy hating, Caitlin is out here stacking accolades, selling out arenas, and turning the Indiana Fever into the hottest ticket in town. Let's pause for a second to appreciate something. Yes, the Indiana Fever, the team once treated like a WNBA afterthought, is now the center of the basketball universe. The league's previous doormat is now the team everyone wants to play for. Talk about moving the needle. The Fever have risen, and Caitlin Clark is leading the charge.
A lot of people say that Caitlin Clark moves the needle. That is wrong. She is the needle. She dictates. We all know what she's done on the floor. It's history, right? But off the floor, my goodness.
So, Sheryl, what happened to your claim that players don't want to go to Indiana? Who exactly were you talking to, the ghosts of teams past? Real players, the ones who matter, are signing with the Fever like it's the VIP section at an exclusive club. Did you really think Caitlin Clark would need to beg people to join her? Be serious.
It's going to be Caitlin Clark Flash Show. So it's going to be phenomenal playing with a point guard, like you said, that have a good vision on the court. Because that's like, as soon as she gets the ball in her hand, she's throwing it up because she already sees the person down the court before she even gets the ball in her hand. So that's one thing I love about her vision on the court. I really can't wait to catch all those passes and give her all the assists that she needs.
Dana Bonner, a 6 feet 4 inches walking mismatch and elite scorer, is part of the WNBA's best, and she just went to Twitter war with all the Fever critics. Sophie Cunningham, she's bringing the spice, swagger, and enough trash talk to rattle any arena. And who did she want to play with? Caitlin.
Why does everybody hate Caitlin Clark? And do you hate Caitlin Clark? Come on, talk
dude.
to me.
Absolutely not. I think that she's a gem. I didn't know her, but All-Star Weekend, we kind of bantered back and forth a little bit. And she's lovely. She has a lot of pressure on her shoulders. And I think a lot of people always have a lot to say with people they don't even know or shoes they've never been in. And for me, I think she's handling the pressure very well. She's doing a lot of great things for women's basketball. And I'm a fan. Like, I would love to play with her one day.
Sydney Carlson, even if she's not logging big minutes, is about to turn the locker room into the highest energy, most fun vibe the Fever have ever had. Chemistry is through the roof. Do we see a pattern here? They all chose Indiana. They all chose to play with the Fab Four: Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and Lexi Hull. So, while Sheryl Swoopes is busy writing her next bad take, the Indiana Fever are out here building a dynasty. Maybe it's time someone passed Sheryl some eyeglasses, because perhaps she's not even talking about the Fever. Could she be talking about the Las Vegas Aces, Chicago Sky, or Connecticut Sun, all of which are imploding right before our eyes? The Fever are here, and they're not just participating, they're dominating.
Oh, then I'm very excited. And I really agree with a lot of the moves the Indiana Fever have made. There's not been one trade or pickup that the Indiana Fever have made that I have not been on board with. I'm on board with every single one. And I just want to say the fact that the Indiana Fever have gone out and got these great players like a Natasha Howard, like a DeWanna Bonner, like a Sophie Cunningham, the fact that they've gone out and got these great players shows that they believe Caitlin Clark is great right now. They are on board with the Caitlin Clark vision, and it just makes me happy because they're not treating Caitlin Clark like a rookie who is going to be good in 10 years. No, they're treating her like a superstar who is good right.
Sheryl Swoopes really thought she was dropping groundbreaking knowledge on the Gills Arena podcast, stepping up to the mic like she was revealing state secrets. But all she exposed was her own dwindling credibility. Honestly, are we even surprised anymore? Sheryl's out here spitting takes like it's a part-time job. And if there were a Hall of Fame for bad opinions, she'd be a first ballot, unanimous selection.
By the way, every single narrative about the Fever is like whatever about them signing Sophie Cunningham, who they don't like. They love DeWanna Bonner. Like, these people, they signed DeWanna Bonner. And again, they were saying, like, we have actual people working for networks being like, DeWanna Bonner will never sign for the Fever for obvious reasons. And I'm like, what are the obvious reasons? Genuinely, what are the obvious reasons? They are basketball.
What's next? Will Sheryl claim Caitlin Clark isn't a generational talent, or that Angel Reese is somehow the best player in the league? At this point, you can't trust Sheryl's takes on anything. She could tell me the sky is blue, and I'd have to double check. Now, with all these free agent signings, the Indiana Fever aren't just looking like a legit squad. They're looking like the blueprint. The funniest part? The same players Sheryl confidently claimed wouldn't touch Indiana with a 10-foot pole are now packing their bags and asking, "Where do I sign?"
See it. I'm really trying here not to crash out, okay? I can't take too much more. I just said the other day, what did I say? Another bomb is Sunday. I said, this isn't it. You know, I can't wait to see what the next bomb would be. Didn't know this would be the bomb. Stephanie White ain't playing fair. I have to say it again. Stephanie White is not playing fair. She on one.
Let's talk about Sheryl's latest masterpiece of a bad take. Hyping up A'ja Wilson like she's the second coming of Michael Jordan. It's almost cute. Meanwhile, the Las Vegas Aces are falling apart faster than Angel Reese's jump shot mechanics. Sydney Carlson? Gone. Signed by none other than the Indiana Fever. Let's be real. Sydney was the heart and soul of that Aces locker room. And it's not just her. Literally half the locker room is gone. But don't worry, A'ja's handling it the only way she knows how. Posting tweets about being in tears. Hoping we'll forget that her team's chemistry is crumbling like a poorly made cake.
I was like in tears, y'all.
The Fever, on the other hand, are stacking talent like Thanos collecting Infinity Stones. Caitlin Clark is the franchise centerpiece, and now Sydney Carlson, A'ja's bestie, is suiting up for Indiana. Oh, the betrayal, the drama. It's like a reality TV show, except A'ja isn't even the main character anymore. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is out here, casually preparing to take over the entire league.
Indiana Fever are officially title contenders. Every day they have something new for us in free agency. And today, it's Miss DeWanna Bonner. Six-time WNBA All-Star and WNBA champ, a veteran in this game, can pretty much do it all, also an enforcer, nasty defense. Should I continue? We have a new starting five. Caitlin at the 1, Kelsey at the 2, DeWanna at the 3, Natasha Howard at the 4, and Aaliyah Boston at the...
As it stands, Sheryl Swoopes is heading straight for the downfall of the century when she finally realizes the Indiana Fever are not just playoff contenders, but championship favorites. And when Caitlin Clark snatches that MV pin, just her second season, the excuse is Sheryl's going to come up with, oh, it's going to be world-class delusion. First she'll hit us with the classic back in me day. We had real competition. Oh, really, Sheryl? Caitlin Clark couldn't survive in the old WNBA, yeah, because nothing screams Elitisbasketball like running around in oversized shorts, shooting bricks from a range, and playing defense like you're allergic to effort. Just ask Angela.
Doesn't make any sense by any stretch of the imagination. In what way would you not want to play in Indiana, the place where you're getting sold out arenas, the most viewership on television, playing with a player who was top 3 in MVP voting as a rookie, who clearly elevates her teammates around her. She scores a lot, but she is also dishing out the ball, able to elevate everyone around her. Why wouldn't you want to be in that?
Let's not pretend the league hasn't evolved. Sure, we respect history, but let's not rewrite it just to make some people feel better. You already know Sheryl Swoopes is going to hit us with the classic. She's only hyped because of the media. Like that's supposed to mean something. Caitlin Clark could drop 50 points, dish out 15 assists, and cure world hunger, and Sheryl would still be like, hey, she's just a shooter. But let's not forget who the WNBA pushed as the face of the league back in the day. Oh right, it was Sheryl Swoopes herself. Now that someone else is getting that same level of attention, suddenly it's a problem. The math isn't matting Sheryl. It's giving insecurity disguised as analysis.